an African-American woman from Brooklyn, who originally moved to Greece to play professional basketball, began to play an increasingly prominent role in television, appearing in popular culture magazines, in a popular culture magazine, Myths and Reality, Mythite Pragmatikotita, and even briefly hosting Πρωινός Cafés, morning coffee, a morning talk and information program. Anyone had a chance to watch any Greek television since you've been here? A little bit? Did you happen to see, it's intriguing to me, they just brought back this advertising campaign for a nail polish called Madison, which has a black woman talking to a Greek woman about the product. Madison was Yvette's original breakthrough. She did this advertisement for Madison nail polish in which she said, Madison, just as in the US. And they recently kind of reinvented this advertising campaign, changing it a little bit. But the one constant is the African-American woman extolling the virtues of Madison nail polish in Greek. Jarvis's career here in Greece, she married a Greek man, became a naturalized citizen. It's been extremely interesting and kind of culminated in 2002. Well, who knows where it'll go from here? She's still active in the political world, and I think is interested in getting back into television. In 2002, she was even elected to serve a term on the Athens City Council, so she had a brief 2-year career as a politician in Greece as well. Likewise, African-Greek actress Nikki Sereti has been a recurrent presence on Greek television since the mid-1990s. She's shown bottom left for you. Playing a variety of roles in sitcoms, popular culture magazines, and dramas. And more recently, the comedy Tihi Vuno, Mountain of Luck, was a fairly successful program on Greek television which dealt with a romance between a Pandyan Greek from the former Black Sea area of the Soviet Union and Turkey, and a upper-class Thessalonikian, and how they tried to resolve the familial differences between the two families. So, television has done a lot to help Greeks think about immigration and think about imagining a kind of multicultural future. Cinema, on the other hand, has been a little bit slower in taking up the topics of cultural diversity and immigration. I think it's more than made up for this initial delay, however, with the filmic treatments of the topics that it has offered. Some of these are 2 directors in particular noteworthy here. Konstantinos Yannaris, who has 2 very interesting films, From the Edge of the City and Hostage, and Stathis Goritsas, who has a trio of films, From the Snow, Balkanizater, and the last one is Brasileiro. Without going into a lot of detail about these films, we're going to move right into Brasileiro, which represents an ambitious, intellectual, and cultural project that advocates for tolerance towards immigrants and cultural diversity, while at the same time articulating critiques of both the forces of globalization that set in motion mass immigration to Greece and Greek society's response to that immigration. The film, which followed on the heels of his hugely successful Balkanizater, was also, and I think this is noteworthy, a comparative failure. Both at the box office, it sold 45,000 tickets as opposed to 250,000 tickets for Balkanizater, and critically. To conclude this presentation, I want to explore the reasons for this failure. Though some might be tempted to blame the audience and say that it wasn't ready for such a progressive approach to the topic of immigration, I think this is a mistake. The film ultimately is intellectually unsatisfying even to those who are sympathetic to its message. Rather, the failure lies in the film's inability to represent a convincing vision of the mechanism by which Greek society can be transformed. The film fails, in other words, to transcend the cultural limits of politismos. For those of you who haven't seen the film, and I'm betting most of you haven't, I'll start with a brief synopsis. Brasileiro is a comedy that follows the travails of the strategically named Vasilis Arvanitakis. The last name means the son of the Arvanitis, a Cretan entrepreneur from Ania, who has received 1.5 million euros to build a Greek cultural center, a Kentro Ellenikou Politismou, a center for Greek civilization, politismos. Arvanitakis started construction only to discover antiquities on the site. Construction was halted so that the Ministry of Culture, the Υπουργείο Πολιτισμού, could investigate the site. A familiar story in Greece. Sitting on nearly 1 million euros, Arvanitakis decides to loan them to the local soccer club so that they can acquire the contract of a Brazilian player, hence the title, Brasileiro. The idea is that the club will pay him back when they collect the fees from participating in Greece's A-League. The deal hits a snag, however, when the player doesn't pan out and the team drops a category, resulting in a shortfall of funds. The film's narrative formally begins with the arrival of 2 EU fraud investigators, Giovanni from Italy and Alex from the Netherlands, who are sent to check on Arvanitakis' progress. And much of the plot consists of his attempts to stonewall them so that he can avoid dealing with the repercussions of his decisions. Arvanitakis begins by wining and dining the pair. As they continue to press him for information, however, things quickly turn ugly. Unbeknownst to Vasilis, the henchman of a local political politician attempts to intimidate them by trashing their hotel room and leaving a shot-out window pane. For those of you who don't know the intricacies of regional Greek cultures, Crete is the part of Greece that has a reputation for having a love affair with the gun. And so it's fairly symbolic that the window pane would be shot out and that one of the other characters is always seen toting his pistol around, cleaning it, firing it randomly, so on and so forth. His friend, who is a manager at a local television station, then lures the 2 European fraud investigators into an interview that he mercilessly doctors before broadcasting so as to make Arvanitakis seem like an innocent victim. Meanwhile, a host of subplots emerge. Arvanitakis' wife, Anna, learns that he's been carrying on an affair with Jenny, his son's English teacher, at the local frontisterio, or tutorial school. Anyone who knows the word frontisterio? It's basically like Kaplan in the US, except for it's much more integrated into the college admission process. It's an integral part, going to the frontisterio, getting special tutoring to prepare yourself for the National Entrance Administration. It's an integral part of getting into the school that you want to get into in Greece. Greek university students do not have the freedom that American university students have to go to school and decide, I think I'm going to be pre-med. Get back that first chemistry exam, whoops, think I'm not going to be pre-med. I'm going to be English. No, in Greece, you declare when you take your exam. After you take your exam, you have a list of preferred areas, and the one that your scores will let you get into, the best one, is the one you wind up at. So it really is a high-stakes examination, and it's one that parents feel like students need to study a lot for in order to succeed.